Let's go next to our caller from the 646 area code. Who's calling today from 646?
Is that me?
Yes, it is.
Hello. Okay. So first off, love your show. I've been listening for a while and I subscribed and everything. And I'm old enough to say this. If I had a son, I'd want it to be you. You're pretty awesome.
Thank you.
So here's my question. Here's my question for you. As we move into this election and watching what's going on with these daily press briefings, which are just getting crazier and crazier by the day.
Yep.
My question for you is relating to propaganda. So do you think, and I just don't have a handle on this, do you think the way that Trump is approaching this, because basically it's a propaganda assault. It's like right out of 1984, half of what he's doing, like wrong is right, left is, work will make you free, et cetera, et cetera. Do you think that this has any effect that will help him win the election on anything other than the base?
I don't know the answer to that. And the reason that I don't know the answer to that is ultimately, I believe that the election is going to depend on what is the general perception of how he handled the virus. He clearly realizes, and the people around him realize, that that is a propaganda fight to be had. So they now are, playing highlight videos during press briefings. They are just telling lies. They're skipping the month of February altogether in their explanation of how well they did. So Trump knows that it's going to be a propaganda war around the virus. If the virus is out of control in November, you would think that would be bad for Trump, except if you have to go out to vote. That's going to be good for Trump because it's the Trumpists who are going to ignore stay-at-home orders and go out to vote, whereas Democrats are more likely to take them seriously. So it's such a mess that I have no idea how this is all going to affect the November election. I couldn't tell you.
Well, I find it really hard to get a read on because, I'm going to go there. So, I've read a lot of, history of Germany in the 30s and the Nazi Party and Goebbels, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
And it seems like a lot of the techniques that he's using are very similar to like Nazi propaganda techniques, except that it seemed at that point the overwhelming majority of Germans kind of went along with that propaganda and supported it. And I'm seeing much more resistance in this country. So it's really hard for me to get a read on whether it's working or not, because I'm trying to figure out, is the base enough? And I've got in my bones, I feel like if the base just votes for him, that's not enough for him to win.
Right. So here's the answer. We don't have mandatory voting in the country. Roughly half the country doesn't vote. So the base is enough if a bunch of people stay home and don't vote. That's the unfortunate reality. So the techniques being used by Trump, knowingly or unknowingly, are reminiscent of some of what we saw in the pre-World War II Germany phase. That doesn't mean Trump is Hitler, right? To be clear, that's not what we're saying.
No, of course not. Absolutely not. Yes.
Because we have independent media, alternatives to Trump's propaganda, his base is highly propagandized, right? 99, they'd never abandon him, that contingent. But then you've got a whole bunch of other people.
No, and they never will.
You've got a whole bunch of other people who don't fall for it. The question is, are they going to go out and vote in November? And I just don't have the answer. I don't know.
Okay. That's basically it. The only other thing that I would say is I feel like nothing that he's doing is moving the needle on independence or getting people to vote. In other words, nothing that he's doing indicates to me that he is getting new votes or getting people to change their mind. So that leaves it to the base. So I guess you're right. But part of me also is like, because I've had these conversations with about 5 or 6 different people. We're talking about people that voted for Jill Stein, people that voted third party in the last election. And they said to me, guess what? Not making that mistake again. So I'm wondering if there are a number of people that, quote, took a chance on him and then are now like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. Like, that's not going to happen. So
we'll know when we get the 2020 exit polls. But in the meantime, the sort of turnout idea that you're talking about, the political scientist Rachel Beitkoffer has written about this quite a bit, and we're going to interview her on the show very soon. And it's about turnout, ultimately, is what you're saying. And I tend to agree with you.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to that interview and love the show, and I'm happy to be a supporter.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate it. Great to hear from you and hope to hear from you again.